I'm not going to read all those out, but I will just tell you the tunes. The quiet song goes to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It. Well, I've been talking far too much, but I'll try demonstrating it anyway. So you can join in with me at home. Be as quiet as a mouse, shush, shush, shush. Be as quiet as a mouse, shush, shush, shush. Be as quiet as a mouse in your little house. Be as quiet as a mouse, shush, shush, shush. And the Tidy Up song, which goes to the tune of Polly Put the Kettle On. And very simply, it's time to tidy up today, time to put our things away. It's time to tidy up today, let's all help. Okay, so all those little routine rhymes and songs we use to create the right mood for learning. In terms of the classroom management side of the coin, first of all, I'd like to mention the importance of valuing home languages and translanguaging. Translanguaging, very simply, the process whereby bilingual and multilingual children mix and use all their languages to communicate. And it's vital that children have the emotional and psychological security of being able to express themselves in shared classroom language or their home language if they need to, and even if you have to involve other people in being able to help to understand. Important to give support, not to be judgmental, not to respond negatively or overcorrect. And key is to focus on children's meaning and to use techniques such as recasting, reformulating, and extending their utterances and encouraging their efforts. And the other CM side I wanted to mention is having a comfort corner or a calm corner. And this is very different from a timeout corner. Timeout corner, which people often recommend, which is like a sort of punishment corner. And I actually personally really don't agree with, because I just don't find it works. But a comfort corner or a calm corner, whereas if you're lucky enough to have cushions, books, cuddly toys, and even the class puppet you can keep there, and children can choose to go there if they feel upset or angry for some reason, or don't want to participate in a particular activity. Moving on, I can make choices. The cell focus here on making decisions and taking responsibility for work, effort, and behavior to do with self-motivation and working autonomously. And the CM focus here on giving opportunities to take responsibility and to exercise personal choice. And the connection here, the more children are given agency in making choices and decisions, the more they learn to self-regulate, the more they act autonomously, and the better and more responsible choices they make. So let's just have a look at a very simple example, a story choice board. A choice board, as I'm sure many of you know, is a graphic organizer which supports children in learning to take responsibility and work independently. In this case, this shows visually activity options following a story. And children can either individually choose one or two activities they'd like to do after you've obviously modelled and explained what they are, or put up their hands for different options and decide as a class. And if they do that latter option, there's obviously self-regulation involved in respecting the majority vote. On the classroom management side of the coin, very important to foster a growth rather than a fixed mindset. In other words, a set of beliefs and assumptions that what you can achieve depends on your focused effort and perseverance. And this, of course, is based on the work of Carol Dweck and the value of fostering a can-do spirit and choosing to make an effort. So let's try hard. Let's do our best. I can do it. Yes, yes, yes. So fostering that kind of can-do spirit in everything you do. The other example of CM I'm going to mention here is to do with directed choice that can be wonderful in supporting responsible decision-making. For example, with a child who's not helping, you might say, it's time to tidy up. Do you want to put paper in the bin or put the materials away? And this directed choice gives the child an opportunity to choose what to do and to take a responsible decision. So moving on to our final statement, I can reflect. And of course here, the cell focus is on metacognition and the ability to reflect, review, and self-evaluate learning. In classroom management terms, the focus is on self-motivation and the ability to set short-term goals and later longer ones and become responsible, self-driven learners. And the connection between the two, the more children are encouraged to review and evaluate their learning progress, the more responsible and self-motivated they are likely to become as learners. So let's have a look at a practical example. This is a little game to help children to identify and review what they've done in a lesson. And it also familiarizes them with how to name activities in English. So for example, wave your arms in the air if we listen to a story. Jump 3 times if we played a game. Turn around if we sang a song. And we can follow up by getting children to think about the chronological order they did the activities and asking questions about each one in English or their language, shared language. Did you like the game? Why? Why not? What did you learn? How did the game help you learn? And children can also then draw a picture of their favorite activity. Why did you choose this one? What did you like about it? What did you learn? How did the activity help you learn? And as well as developing the children's metacognition, you're getting invaluable feedback about the kind of classroom procedures and strategies that you've been using. On the classroom management side of the coin, something I would very much recommend is that you use descriptive or process praise. This gives children constructive feedback about their learning progress, as well as their achievement and the effort they've made. Descriptive praise informs children and builds up their positive self-beliefs about what they can do. It also lays the foundations for them to develop the ability to evaluate their work themselves. For example, when you're responding to a child's picture of a self-portrait of clothes for a particular season, rather than just saying, what a great picture, it's much more helpful to describe what you see. For example, I can see you've made a big effort to include all the clothes you wear in winter, hat, boots, gloves, scarf. And by noticing and commenting on details of individual children's learning in this way, you develop their self-knowledge and metacognitive skills and motivate them to achieve more. And the second tip I want to mention here, because it is just so important, is involving children's parents and caregivers. And I actually know that you're wonderful about doing that in Mexican schools that I've been to. It's always been very impressive. Parents play a key role in their children's learning, and regular communications and guidelines and sending work and portfolios home are an invaluable part of what I would say is your global classroom management strategy, and can be hugely important motivationally and leading children to be responsible, self-directed learners. So we've identified 6 areas of CEL, and we've seen how proactive CM is the other side of the coin. I'd like to now pull things together by revisiting those 6 CEL statements and actually matching them with similar statements for classroom management. So, for example, I'm glad I'm me, my self-esteem, my confidence, and so on. The CM side of the coin, I want to participate and I can participate. I'm aware of other people. I behave respectfully towards others. I can cooperate. I can work with others in a framework. I can manage my emotions. I can behave appropriately in class. I can make responsible decisions. I can make choices. I can take responsible decisions. I can reflect. I am aware of my strengths and progress. And as I hope I've shown, by integrating CEL and proactive classroom management strategies, children begin to develop self-regulation and autonomy and take increasing responsibility for managing themselves, thereby making both their learning experience and your teaching experience more enjoyable, rewarding, and worthwhile. And just as a last word, I'd like you to have a look at this quotation from Chaim Ginott. And he's a school teacher, child psychologist, and psychotherapist. And he says, a child becomes what they experience. And it is my contention that if you give children the kind of learning experience that I've been proposing here, they will have agency and you will lead them towards developing self-regulation and autonomy, not only in the short term, but also in the future and for the rest of their education and their lives. So that brings me to the end of my session. Thank you very much. And just before I go, I'd like to share with you, in case anyone's interested in the references that have been on the slides, here is a list of them now. You could take a quick screenshot. So thanks very much. It's been lovely to be with you all. Bye.